Hi there, it's Buzz's Retirement Garage, January 5th, day after my wife's birthday. Wish her happy birthday for me. Thank you. Hey, I want to update what January's expenditures look like, income and expenditures. I did a video on in December, or January for December's expenses, and our goal, unlike some people who can retire with quite a bit of money, our goal was to try to retire. And I think if you watch some of my videos, you know why I retired early. I retired at 63 and 10 months. And the point of that period of retirement, or why I chose that period, was because the Social Security amount that I was going to receive and my wife's spousal benefit, oh, that scared me, and my wife's spousal benefit gave us enough money at that time to cover our bills. So I thought, now I have some savings. If you look at Dwayne at Retire Early 500K, Dwayne, he basically retired with a little less than $500,000, and he retired early. And he's doing pretty good. If you watch his videos, he tracks that. I'm not going to talk about what I have, but I can tell you I'm not over 100,000. I'll be frank with you about that. So my savings is under 100,000. So our goal was to keep our expenses low, make some side income if we can, but at the very least try to equal our expenditures, equal our income. So in December, if you look at the chart here, sorry about the handwriting and everything, I'm not very professional, I just throw stuff together because it's not about the professionalism of the show, it's about getting the facts. So I try hard to get you the facts, all right? Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was watching some guy's video the other day, to digress just for a second. And I tell you what, if he's not paying somebody to do his videos, I mean, he does them, but all the extra stuff that he has is just amazing. And I won't get into who it is because he's had some of his bots come onto my site. He probably doesn't know it, but talking him up. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to this. December. So December, bottom line, if you have a short attention span like I do, and you want to fast forward or get out of this video and go to the next, that's okay. The bottom line in December, our income of $24.42 and $12.18, that's what my Social Security was and her spousal benefit. And then our expenditures for the month, we came out about $591 ahead. Now what was good about that is, you'll see for my health care, she's on Medicare, my health care shows a big fat zero. My company covered the month of December. So I had no health care expense, which is huge. Now you get into January. Now of course we got the increase from Social Security. Also got an increase in Medicare by $10, I believe it was. So we went to $25.20 and $12.57 on income. And then when you look at all the expenses we had, we were negative 1,018. So net, what's that? 1,018, 591. So net we're about what? 427 in the hole for 2 months. So a couple $100 a month negative. So that's got to come out of my savings, which we said is under 100,000, and I'm okay with that. But I'm going to try to do everything I can to reduce those expenses, because I want my savings to be for emergencies. I want my savings to be for vacations, and if I can just keep these expenses low, hopefully we can reach that goal. So if you look at, and we can talk about some of the things that we have on here, and then at the end of the video I want to show you some of the things I'm going to work on. But I just wanted to explain a couple things. So house taxes, I put away $417 a month because our taxes here where I live, in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio, that we don't have any industry here, and so our taxes are fairly high. They go to the schools, they go to the library system, and they go to the Cleveland Metro Parks, which I would support if they wanted more money. Don't tell them, but if they wanted more money, I would support them wholeheartedly. It's a great, Cleveland Metro Park system is a great system. So the cable internet, which we can talk about, that's $235. Life insurance, that's a big thing in my last topic, or my last video on retiring on Social Security. Life insurance, you have to be very careful because people keep asking me, well, why do you carry life insurance? Your house is paid off, because if you've noticed, I don't have any payment for a house. So why do you have life insurance? The simple reason is this: if I pass, my wife will take my benefit of $25.20 as it stands right now. She will lose her spousal benefit of $1,257. So she'll have $1,257 less every month. So can she still, I mean, yeah, I eat a lot more than her probably, but a lot of these expenses are hard expenses. They're not going to change. They're fixed expenses, I should say. They're not going to change. If anything, they're going to go up. So the life insurance, which I have $200,000 on myself, that's going to cover her for give or take 14 years until she can find a sugar daddy. So that's my goal, and that's why I have insurance. So I pay $160 a month. If you break that down, of the $209, $160, it's a universal life insurance policy, which we've had through State Farm for decades. We're going to continue to do that. If I do pass, she picks up that 200 grand, and that's going to help her out. She has $100,000 on her, which is right now only $40 a month. I think that's a great deal, and it's guaranteed. And then I have one for my remaining daughter for $15,000. So, and that's only like $8, $9 a month. So we're not talking about a lot of money here. Will those costs go up? Well, sure. But you know, they do pay interest. So as these interest rates are going higher, you know, our payment, it's helping our payment to keep it the same. And plus it's actually creating a little bit of interest where it's above the payment. I'll have to look at it again, but let's just call it a wash right now. So the 160 will cover me for a while until interest rates start to drop again. So maybe next year I'll get an increase. I don't know. Health insurance, I have the ACA now, but in January I had to pay $560 for my Cobra. So that was a big expense that I'm not going to have in February, because I went with an ACA gap plan, which there's a video out there that I did on what I actually purchased through the government health care. And a gap plan, which helps with, so I could buy a bronze plan. The gap plan helps me with expenses if I go to the hospital for a sickness or an injury. For instance, a heart attack, they're just going to write you a check for 10 grand. It's through United Healthcare. I was able to buy a bronze plan fairly cheaply with the money that the government's given me for subsidy based on your income. We'll get into that in another video. But this month, or for January, I had to pay the $560, which was a big chunk of change that I did not have to pay in December. Most of the other things are pretty static. There's a lot of comments about food. I don't know. People say, what do you do? Eat steak and caviar every day? No, I don't. But I find myself at $11.50 in December, and I found myself at $1,400 in January. And I mean, that includes that includes staples and like toilet paper and your paper towels and bird food and cat food and all those things that I don't eat, at least not yet. But yeah, I don't know. Some people are telling me that they could easily do 500 bucks for 2 people a month. Well, yeah, and I'm not saying you can't, but for me and my wife, right now I'm at 1,400. Now I'm gonna have to, and there's a couple of people that told me we have an Aldi's in our area, and a couple of people have told me I need to go there. And I've told them, I've gone there, I don't care for it, but I'm gonna try it again. I promised them I would. I have not. I did not in the month of January go to Aldi, so I need to try that out. I do shop at a discount store called Marks, but their prices are getting high. Everything's high now. It's inflation is something else, and packaging is smaller. Of course, we all know that, and prices are going higher. So hopefully that'll at least slow down a little bit, and we can kind of catch up here. So miscellaneous, which I'm going to talk about here at the end. I had about 200 bucks miscellaneous. I do track everything in an app. It's a Dave Ramsey app. It's a free app. It's just a tracker. So everything I spend, I put in there by category, and I list it so that I don't forget about it. I do it right away, and it's really helped me to make sure I'm tracking all my expenses and not forgetting anything. But $200 for December wasn't too bad. Our gift giving, somebody asked in the other video, what would you do for Christmas gifts? Well, my wife, if you ever notice Amazon stock goes up in October, it's because my wife is shopping in October. So she buys all of her Christmas presents in October. So I should probably do a line item for every month and just break it down so it doesn't seem that high, because October is going to be a nice bill. We'll see what happens there. But food $14.37, miscellaneous $9.60. So again, bottom line here is, can I retire on Social Security? Can I make it work? Right now I'm a couple $100 down per month if you average it out. I can take that. That's not bad. But you know, hopefully this miscellaneous is going to stay low, but don't expect it to, because you know you're always going to have emergencies happen. I'm afraid of my water heater. It's pretty old, and you know that's probably going to be in this area. If I do it myself, you know, we're still talking $600, $700, $800 easily. So that could be a huge expense. But again, it's an expense that you're going to do once every 12 years or whatever. It's not, you know, if you take it out over the course of a decade, it's really not that bad. So what am I working on? Let me pull this one up. See if that makes sense. Okay. So January miscellaneous. We had $280 for a lawyer. This is the first time in my life, in my wife's life, that we've had to get a lawyer involved in something. And I'm going to do a video on that separately. I don't want to get into it right now, but it has to do with the next item, which was cemetery flowers, which was $160. Yeah, so my father-in-law passed away at 96 years old on December 23rd. And the rest of it has been, with his estate, has been kind of ugly, to put it mildly. And like I said, I'll do a separate video on that. I don't want to bore you guys with that. And some of the other miscellaneous was Amazon, some lottery, newspaper, and a haircut. So those are some things I can cut down on. I do like to play the numbers once in a while. You know, for $100, I'll probably reduce that to 50 bucks, and maybe even less than that. I'm not a big-time gambler, so that's easy to do. But what work do I have to do? Okay, the work I have to do is, for my T-Mobile, I'm doing $63 for 2 phones, unlimited, which is called a over 55 plan or something like that. A couple people have told me about Mint Mobile, which is $15, but they cap you at I want to say milligrams. I don't know why. But your data is at 5, whatever it is, I forget. It's not on the tip of my tongue right now. But anyway, you get 5. I checked my T-Mobile records, and in December, or November I should say, I was at 5.35. So that may be worth it for 15 bucks a month, and so that'd be $30 plus taxes. I don't know. That may be worth it. I could cut that bill in half. I'm going to have to look at that, and you can sign up for 1 year. Problem that scares me is Mint Mobile, I thought, sold out to T-Mobile. So I'm a little leery on that, but that's something I'm going to look at. Cable, the internet is 90 bucks here. I actually do have a phone that's still connected for 20 bucks, and the cable itself for TV is 124. Now everybody keeps telling me, go to something else, you know, cut the cable and do this and do that. So I'm investigating that. I'm going to do a video on that. I see some of the prices that are out there are getting higher and higher. The other thing is there's some news channels that my wife likes to watch that are not on some of these apps. So I'm investigating that. That is a way to reduce my monthly costs. Food. I wrote down, what the heck? You know, how am I going to reduce that? I've really got to, I think, number one, I have to look at trying to reduce the expense. I don't want to eat less, but I'll try to reduce the expense on food. Now, keep in mind, 160 of that, 1,400 I think it was for cat food and bird food and litter and stuff like that. So, but those are the things I'm going to work on. But so bottom line is, for the last 2 months, just on Social Security, we're about 200, a little over 200 in the hole each month. So I'm going to track this over the next months and see if we do better or worse. My YouTube income, I just started this channel, so it's not relevant at this point. Next month it might be a part of an income, but I can tell you it's not as great as some people might think. I don't do this for income. I do it for information passing. I really do, because when I went to retire, the year before I wanted to retire, I was watching guys like Dwayne and Steve's Retirement Corner and Sarasota Tim and Azul and all these different people to learn how to retire. And I'm trying my hardest to make sure that I'm retiring the right way. I'm struggling sometimes, but not having that alarm clock, not having to wake up, not having no responsibilities, it's a good thing, and it's a bad thing in a way too. So, but we'll get into that another time. So anyway, any questions, comments, concerns? Please write them down. Give me a comment. I answer all my comments. If I did not answer your comment, I must have been drunk at the time or something. I don't know. But I do answer all the comments. I appreciate all the comments that I get from you guys. I really do. You have taught me many things that I did not know. And that's what we're here for, to learn from each other, right? Anyway, Buzz's Retirement Garage. We'll talk to you again.